Shut up and sit down.
Welcome, everybody, to the 3POA podcast, episode 30. I am your host, Laserpants, also known as Ryan. I am joined, as always. Oh, wait. We got to change things up tonight. Someone, a little desert rat, called in sick. But luckily, I had someone waiting in the wings. You've probably seen him in the chat. He is the COO, CEO, CFO of HellaDopeToys.com. It's my good buddy, Ted Darklaw. What's up, Ted?
Not much, Ryan. Thank you so much for having me here, man. I really appreciate it. I'm excited.
Yeah. Look, thanks for filling in a bit of a pinch.
Oh yeah, it's not a problem. I was just hanging out. You know, I was going to watch you anyway, so might as well join in a little bit.
Yeah, my regular co-hosts kind of dropped off one at a time. One by one, both of them. And, oh, look, one of them's in the chat, of course. Desert Rat is in pain. It's the day, it's New Year's Day for him, so he's probably nursing a wicked hangover. Oh, man. Freaking Tony. All right. Now, we have a very special guest tonight. And if you saw the thumbnail, you know who it is. But this is my old co-host of the Infinity Equation podcast, comic book extraordinaire, cishet, New Yorker, comic book artist, ALEX Sanchez.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
What's going on, man?
What's wrong with Tony? Is he has a hangover, or he's got a flu bug, or the combination of both? No, who cares?
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh.
Hopefully, he has like a nice gourd or something, or a bunion on his foot or something. An ingrown toenail.
No, he's too tough for that.
Forget that
Bundy's
guy.
not going to keep him from the show. But
Alex,
go ahead.
First time on the 3POA podcast, man. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Like I said, it's New Year's Eve. What the hell are we doing here talking about toys on New Year's Eve? Shouldn't we be out like at a bar? Or
apparently, I don't have a life. Bobby and Tony do. They took the night off.
Yeah, no. I text Bobby, you know, I was like, oh, boo-hoo, you're not going to be on the show. What's going on? And he's like, the grandparents offered to watch the kids, so I can't miss up a date night with the wife.
Right.
I was like, that's great. I mean, I'm sure she doesn't appreciate you taking her to a gun range or sitting through like the Lord of the Rings marathon, you know.
That's what they're doing.
Date night.
Yeah, no, they're watching the Snyder Cut of the Justice League together.
Of course, yes. Yeah. He's dressed up as a Joker.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I knew it.
But
yeah. But no, this is I love these like end of the year things. So
yeah,
I'm happy to be here.
I mean, you know, it's everyone does it, and I imagine a lot of people are getting tired of it. But I mean, it's still technically 2022 where we're at. So maybe not every YouTube channel has done a top 10 list yet or top 5.
No, you're the first. I think don't they usually wait until the first week of the year or the new year?
I don't know, maybe.
Or even later.
What are you drinking on there, Alex?
Guinness.
How about you, Ted?
What's that?
I'm sipping out of my Hella Dope mug, a little drink I call the Dark Claw. It's some vodka, Sky vodka, and Diet Pepsi. And then I also have Miller Lite on backup.
Jeez. We're exercising our livers here. We're going to ring in 2023. Well, I'm not going to be on that long. It's only like 5 o'clock here on the West Coast. So,
dude, I thought the show was like 3 hours. It's going to start 3 hours ago. That's why I was like, are you sending the link soon? And then I was like, oh, shit, he's on the West Coast. Well, what are you drinking?
I'm having a little whiskey, my usual
whiskey.
I get cheap whiskey and Coke Zero. So that's
Coke
my
Zero.
Yeah, that's my podcast drink. I mean, Coke Zero. It's probably worse for you than just like regular Coke, but
I think it's got a plastic in it, like literal bits of plastic in it.
I have to maintain my figure. Can't have that sugar. All right. Yeah. We got some super chats here. We're going to get into our top 5 and a couple other topics we're going to hit on tonight. But let's dive into some super chats, some very generous super chats here. The first one from Little Robbie. Thank you so much, man.
Wow.
$20. That ain't cheap. He says, evening, gents. I'll have to watch the replay tomorrow. Just hoping Bobby could give us another sneak peek to that Desert Trooper. It's time for action. Happy New Year. He can't do that because he's not here. I have nothing to give you a peek of. I'm sorry, but I really appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much. Analog Toy says, Happy New Year, everyone.
Wow.
It's like January 3rd in Australia. That's how far ahead.
They're already in like spring over there.
Yeah.
Really
it's funny how he calls off sick from the show.
Yeah.
But then he's in the chat. It's like,
dude,
really?
You used to do the same thing when you were at work. You were the big Terminator 2 crane and the industrial plant.
It's because I was at work.
I know, but you should be concentrating on the large metal equipment that your hands are maneuvering.
I hope my boss is not watching this. We got one from Largo's Lair. Jim. Hello, Jim. Thank you so much for the super chat. Today is the tomorrow you thought about yesterday. Stupid time zones, whatever. Happy New Year to 3POA. Many happy hours of toy adventures in the near future. Jim.
And shout out to Jim Largo. Hella Dope Toys. We are big Jim Largo fans. One of the nicest guys we've met in the toy community. So awesome guy.
Oh, hands down. I was checking him out on his live stream. That was yesterday. Yeah, super nice guy. Very well spoken. Awesome kid. Like his kid and my kid hung out during the pandemic, like on Zoom. I think just once, but it was nice. You know, they're quarantined; they can't go to school, but they had a little interaction, some association, which was good for them. Jim, you rock, man! Thank you so much. We got one from Master Son 42. Thank you so much. Heading home, watching for the good toys. You've come to the right place. Thank you, Clemens. And then we got one from our buddy Tony Robles. Tony, thank you, man. As always, he says, Happy New Year, hermanos. Personal top 3 of the prototype Action Force Series 1 set, Classified Storm Shadow, and Blowback. Hope to see the 3POA when I arrive at Valicon. Oh, heck yeah. In fact,
is there a Valicon?
That's what we call Joe Fest. See, Alex doesn't watch the show.
I know. I haven't been catching up lately.
You're a bad person and a horrible friend.
Me. I know.
Tony, thank you so much. And then my buddy Andrew M with the super chat. Thank you. He says, Happy New Year's. Off to work I go. Been a long time since I seen Alex. Enjoy the evening, guys. Thank you, Andrew, man.
I remember.
Nice to see you too. All right. So it's the end of the year. Everyone's doing top 5, top 10. I saw someone doing a top 20, which that seems really like that's almost like the cheat code of doing a top action figure list. It's like, oh, just make it 20.
That's my whole year right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
You guys know how many figures, just an estimate, how many figures you bought in the last year? Big or
I know
small?
exactly how many.
Oh, really?
I write down every figure I buy.
Shut up.
No,
I do.
Really?
I'm serious. I have a list. Yeah.
You know, I'm easily susceptible to your lies.
This time I'm actually not lying.
What is it?
I'm not saying that. My wife might see this.
Why not? Why, La Señorita is listening? What's going on?
It's at least like 7. I'll say that.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Greg has a comment for you. Alex, your painting of Mark II Designs Ryan head. Ryan head? That's not right.
I get what
Yeah.
he means.
Yeah. I've seen you've been you posted something today or yesterday with he was like shooting Tony or something, right?
Yeah, I was shooting Tony in the face.
All I'll say about those head sculpts is that they don't photograph as well. This goes for any of my art. In hand, it's much better than photographed or on the internet. But
Yeah,
I'm very proud of. I think I captured your essence in those sculpts.
You did. I got one right here. I thought you did a great job. You even gave me a battle damage version.
Right. Yeah. And shout out to Mark II Design who sculpted the freaking thing, right?
Yeah, he did it all digitally, 3D printed them. I got a
wow. All I did was
bunch
put the
here.
paints on top. Yeah.
Huh?
All I did was put the paints on top.
You did a great job, though.
Yeah,
I
it was fun.
appreciate
It was actually fun to work on that. I love working on custom stuff because it's a nice break from the comic book stuff.
Cool. Yeah, don't slam your desk too hard there, buddy.
Sorry.
Michael Hinkson, thank you for the super chat. Happy New Year's Eve from a cold and very snowy Reno, Nevada. Digging out of this year 6 inches of snow so far in Reno. Hope to enjoy a great show since I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Wow, I didn't know Reno got so much snow. But 6 inches, that's not, you have to dig out of that.
Maybe 6 inches
like
is average.
Yeah, it's like out of the ordinary for Reno. That's why it's like a big deal, I guess. Right? Michael, you let me know. But thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it'd be nice to be in Reno right now. Well, I guess not if they have snow. Tony, come on, man. You don't show up to the show and then he wants to see the Bratz commercial. Are you familiar with the Bratz commercial, Alex? You don't know what's going on.
Fill me in. I mean, I know what the Bratz are, of course.
You heard of the Engine of Vengeance?
It's the HasLab Ghost Rider car, right?
We did a show when that was funding. And I said, look, there it is.
I came ready with my Bratz car.
Yeah. People have been, and I have not really been keeping up on like the new stuff that people have been in the community. But yeah, people have been taking the Bratz vehicle and customizing it because they'd rather spend the money, not as much money on that than on the HasLab Ghost Rider thing, right?
Listen, it all started with me. Okay.
Oh, you started?
I started that.
Okay.
I mean, according to some people on the internet, I got the idea from someone else years ago. But it kind of became a thing.
From another Bratz vehicle?
No, you know how like you say something on the show and it becomes a thing?
Yeah.
Like Sexy Sanchez.
Yeah. Or Vidal says
Lights, camera, Bratz. From the new Bratz movie, RC Cruisers.
Pulling up in Hollywood. Yeah. Just cruising.
You control the action.
Right from wheels to hood. Yeah.
Real FM radio.
Turn it up, yeah. Light up the boulevard.
Working headlights.
Got star power. Checking out our rear view. RC Cruiser cruising through.
Bratz the movie, RC Cruisers with working headlights and real FM radio. Dolls and cars each sold separately. Batteries not included. Bratz the movie rated PG. That's a Bratz wrap.
no.
You see the kind of stuff you miss? Huh?
Did you do that?
No, Tony did.
Tony did that.
Tony.
Dude, I cannot compliment you guys on how much your digital skills have improved since we last talked, because that was amazing.
But Tony's always been good.
With Buff Ryan at the very end of the commercial?
Yeah, gung-ho body Ryan. Yeah. I mean, that's what I look like
Holy
normally in real
shit.
life, right, Alex? Right.
Bravo, Tony. That was fucking great.
Okay, that's enough screwing around. Let's get into our top 5.
No, wow.
Okay, what kind of show do you think I run here? You think this is the Dan Who stream? It's not the Dan Who stream.
Scream.
Let's get into our top 5. Alex, you buy a lot of figures, but you buy like 12-inch figures.
Yeah, 1/6 scale stuff, man. That's since having a baby, I've kind of had to cut back on the stuff that I really, really don't need. So I've kind of focused more so on 1/6 scale figures and NECA Ninja Turtles. That's pretty much been my bread and butter for like the last 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever. So yeah.
So
That's me.
your number 5 is.
My number 5 is, it's not a 616 figure.
No, it
Is
is.
it?
It's
It is. Is it? Oh, is it the? You tell me. Oh no, that's number 1, man. You just ruined the whole list.
I think
That's
I have
number
your
1.
list backwards. Then can we just start
You
with this
do.
one and we'll pretend?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we can
go for
pretend.
it.
We can pretend. My favorite figure by far this year that I purchased is the re-release, and I've asked you prior to this list if it was okay if a re-release is counted. You said it was fine. Is
Yes.
the Michael Jordan 2-pack by Enterbay, 1/6 scale, and it comes with his last championship run figure, 1998, and his rookie
Right.
figure. And these figures are just, it's just so, I mean, the presentation, the actual figure, it's so posable, the magnetic basketball, which just fell, the warm-up jersey, and like the part that really blew me away is that in the box, there's a tray that you pull on, you pull out, and it has his Air Jordans from 1 through 14, which is from 84 to 98, 1 through, and then the last one and the first one are missing because I have them on the figure. But dude, I mean, just
That's cool.
just blew me away. The figures are hefty, like they feel like they have weight to them. They don't feel like cheap little, whatever plastic figures. But
Does it
I'm
have the
just-
crying meme swappable head?
the what swappable head?
The crying meme.
No, no,
Because
that
that would
came
make.
after.
I
that
would have
came
got
after.
it.
Yeah, but just I'm so like, I remember that room when you came to my house, that room in my man cave where you walked in, like the first room when you walk in the back door. I had like my Gremlins figures there and some other stuff. Like I
Yeah.
totally redecorated it and put like 4 Detolfs.
Oh,
And this is like the centerpiece of my Detolf collection in that room. It's just like, I'm so happy. I waited. I literally almost pulled the trigger on the first release of this, which was going for about $900. I found a dude that was willing to do like a layaway, and I was like, oh, let me do it. And then like Enterbay put them up for like pre-order like a month after. And I was just like,
Wow.
oh man, great. Yeah. So I got them for like, I think Big Bad, I got them off of Big Bad for like $5.50 and then $4 shipping. Can't beat that. So
See, I see my business partner, Black Knight, in the chat crying because now I'm going to get a text message saying, yo, we got to get those.
dude,
It does look amazing. A magnetic basketball. That's insane.
yeah, the
And
magnetic
all those
basketball.
Jordans.
And they have like the basketball hoop, they have a locker, and like you can find them on Entertainment Earth for about $200. They're not that expensive. And I'm just like, man, if I had the space, I would totally get into it. Because Enterbay, I really think Enterbay, as far as 1/6 stuff is concerned, are really like under the radar because they mostly the most popular stuff they do is like NBA stuff, and people don't really collect like athlete figures really. I mean, they prefer to get superheroes and stuff like that, which they do, but it's mostly like anime stuff also. So Japanese IPs. So, but kudos to them, man, because they just knocked it out of the park with this Jordan stuff.
well, speaking of athletes, Ted, your number 5 pick is also an athlete, unless I got your list backwards.
No,
for it.
we're good. We're good. We're good. Like this is a hard act to follow here. He comes out with some Jordans. And,
Did you see, Ryan?
I have the Macho Man here. So yeah, the Mattel Ultimates NWO Macho Man. And while I do have some gripes with the figure, at the end of the day, the Macho Man has always been near and dear to my heart. And just my complaints are overshadowed by one of the best Macho Man head sculpts we've gotten like so far. Like it's really hard to do his face. And
Probably
then
the best one. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, the cream of the crop one is really good.
Yeah.
And they might be the same. I don't know, but man, like
No.
I threw the other two away. I was like, I don't need these other heads. Like I don't need a smiling Macho Man, and I don't know what's up with him sticking his tongue out thing. I didn't get that, but and then the Cage the Madness t-shirt, one of my favorite t-shirts as a child. And they switched from these hard shell shirts to these soft good shirts, which I think is awesome.
I always prefer that.
Yeah, it's hard to get it off. It's like trying to take a shirt off of a toddler. So he's going to wear this for the rest of his time on my shelf. But yeah, I have waited for this my entire life, and to actually have it is awesome. The Wolfpack one was a good standby, but this right here, this is my Macho Man. Again, cream of the crop Macho Man, still a beautiful piece, but
It is.
love NWO Macho Man. I think it's a good figure, even though it does have some flaws.
So I collect very, very little wrestling figures, and I just get the big time guys that I was really into, as a kid. And so I do have a Macho Man, but I got the Slim Jim Macho Man.
I missed out on that one. I was so bummed I missed out on that one.
That's kind of a rare figure, man. How'd you get that?
I bought it when it went up.
Where? Was it up on a Walmart exclusive or a Target or something like that?
It was a con exclusive.
Right. Yeah,
I got it on the Mattel website, I think.
That's a pretty one of the more rare ones that's come out recently.
Good. Okay, so I want to get into my number 5, and then I want to get to a super chat here that we got that's unreal. But my number 5 is, now look, everyone's going to call me a shill because I am. And I knew I would have at least one Action Force figure. Originally, it was not this one, but I had to think about it. And this is the Action Force figure I've had the most fun with this year. And that is... Let me add this to this one. Desert Rat. Yeah, I hate Tony Roberts. Don't get it twisted. I hate that guy. But the Desert Rat figure, I've had a lot of fun with. If you've seen my Instagram recently, you've seen some great pictures with this figure. I got a great 1/12 scale sombrero for him. No, I'm kidding. I love this figure, and I love Tony. But this is my number 5. I did purposefully limit myself to one Action Force figure on this list because, I mean, I'm being friends with Bobby. It's like, what, are you going to pick 5 Action Force figures? No, I'm just going to pick one, and it's Desert Rat, and it is. I mean, it's a good freaking figure, man. So, Desert Rat is my number 5.
He knows what he's doing over there.
What's that?
He knows what he's doing over there.
He does. I want to get into some of these comments, including the super chat. Wow, Little Plastic Men, you're wild, and I love you, and thank you so much. He says, I'm glad I caught the live stream. Just want to say thank you for a great year in collecting. Your channel has impacted my collecting more than anything. I hope in a good way. Love you guys, love the show, and have a happy new year. Thank you so much, Little Plastic Men. Appreciate that. I don't really know what to say when I get super chats that are just massive like this. So I'll just say thank you. And I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and I hope we have a good 2023 and keep you entertained. I don't know what else to say. Thanks. Greg had a quick comment for you, Alex. He wanted to know, how do you like those Rangers that are looming above your head?
Dude, it sent me into a not a Power Rangers rabbit hole, but a Super Sentai rabbit hole. The Sideshow had them on sale like back in November or something like that. I think they were going for like 25% off free shipping, something like that.
Wow.
They cost like $500
Right.
for all 6 of them, and I had like $100.
That's actually a very good price.
Yeah, no, I mean it's basically like $100. Even when they sold them individually, they were $100 each. So which basically means that you're getting one of them for like half off. But I had about $100 in Sideshow rewards too, so I ended up getting them for like $330.
Cool.
Over an installment plan. And when I was working on Godzilla vs. Power Rangers, a comic book at the time, and it just really got me into it, and it sent me into the Super Sentai wormhole, man. It's the rabbit hole. It's just like I'm so into the original, the first Sentai Power Rangers,
Sentai,
1975, Himetsu Sentai. It's just, oh my god. Anyways,
isn't it like Sentai Vulcan or I don't know?
No, what do you mean, like the name of the show?
The name of like the Rangers, what were they called?
No, they were called Go Rangers. Not
Go Rangers, okay.
Rangers, Rengers. And yeah, so there was like they were all numbered too. So like on their helmets, it would have like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So actually, I ended up picking up a really old. This is the original Red Ranger called Aka Ranger, which means number one Ranger, and this was put out by Medicom back in 2012. And I was like, dude, I gotta get this guy. So I got him actually literally last week, and I'm just don't even get me started.
No, I get it, man. You get excited about something, you start going down a rabbit hole, you just start buying like way too much stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
Michael Hinkson, he wanted just to let me know, Reno gets plenty of snow, very different from Vegas. And once again, I prove how stupid I am. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
It's in the Sierra foothills near Tahoe. That makes a lot more sense. I knew it was like way farther north than Vegas. Okay, Reno gets snow. Thank you, Michael. Bobby L. Collins, and I believe this was in reference to the Macho Man figure, the wrestling figure. He says, too bad most collectors can't get them. I see, like, I don't know. I know everyone's Target and Walmart is different. My Target and Walmarts are like packed with like WWE figures all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the one you just showed is on clearance at my Target. It might be.
It's hit or miss with these sometimes, and I know this was one that everybody wanted to. As the Slim Jim one goes, like that one was really hard to get for me.
Oh, he could have been talking about the Slim Jim one. Okay, so I was going to say, Bobby, let me know what you're looking for. I can always check my Target; they're always on the shelf. And then Bear 11 Charlie made a good point. My favorite figure from this year is my signed Desert Rat, and that one's really cool. And I got mine personalized because I was there with him at Joe Fest. He signed mine, and I would say that's my favorite Desert Rat that I got this year, the signed one.
Didn't you go visit him at his house, or he visited you at? I remember you shooting video or something where.
Alex?
No, Tony, yeah.
No, he lives in Australia, dude.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, didn't I see you in a video?
It takes literally like 2 days to get to his.
I understand, but for some reason I thought that I had seen you visit him. Okay.
I did.
Whatever.
Yeah, so I had to like fly into like Southeast Asia, and then I got a connecting flight into Perth. And my flight from Perth to where he's at was just like way out in the middle of the desert, in the middle of it's like Mad Max.
Hence Desert Rat, right?
My flight to there got canceled, and so I hitchhiked on some kangaroos and was able to make it the rest of the way there to his house where we.
Okay. When you're done making fun of me, can you at least acknowledge that at one point you guys filmed a video where you were reading a newspaper? It was like a bit where you were reading a newspaper, and it looked like you were in his house or he was at your house or something.
That was my house.
Okay.
I filmed that at my house and I sent it to him. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm glad you saw that.
I did. I mean, it was one of the few things, but I did.
Yeah. It was that was for his Things Collectors Don't Say.
Right.
Yeah. That was a good video. That was fun.
I'm subscribed to him. Like him. Definitely subscribe to him. I watch him.
Live Convoy says you got to check out the Figureworks line if you like Sentai.
I did see those. I'm going to stick to
They're pricey now.
They are. I mean, I think the 2-packs go for like either $100 or $150, something like that.
Whew.
Yeah.
Dang.
And they're brand new. They just came out at the end of last year or this year.
Oh, the new ones. Okay, I was thinking Power
Rangers. He's talking about the I believe he's talking about the Himitsu Sentai that I just showed you. That team, their first team. They just came out with I don't know if it was Figure Arts. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But it was a Japanese company that came out with 2-packs. And they go for about $150 each.
All right.
BBTS.
Let's get into our next pick. We're going kind of slow here. We should pick things up. Alex, your next pick in reverse order, your number 4, is
my Clone Wars Hot Toys Darth Maul. And this figure was delayed a few months, but it was definitely worth it. I love the tattooed body. And I got him displayed in my Darth Maul Maji case display with episode 1 and solo Darth Maul. So
he looks good, man.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's really cool. And
I'm still waiting on my Black Series version.
What's that? The what version?
I'm still waiting on my Black Series version.
Really? I wanted to ask you about some of the toys that you, anyways. One of the best things about this toy in particular, is the box actually is, if you watch the Clone Wars, he's in a prison, like in a coffin prison. Do you remember that, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
the box actually is, and it has like the cutout in the prison coffin where you can see his face. Like the box is actually, it looks like a replica of that little coffin.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I thought that was really cool that they threw that in there. But yeah, that's my number 4.
Nice. Ted, your number 4 is something that we kind of discussed a little bit. You want to?
Yeah, so number 4 is the Last Ronin, the armored version, and honestly, it might have been a little higher up had we have gotten it sooner. I haven't had any time to like really do any photography with it or anything, have any fun. Like I
That's
messed
fine,
around
dude.
with the accessories, and like it was.
That's totally fine. I got something on my list that I got today.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So that's okay. You can do that.
cool. I appreciate that because like I was like, oh, I haven't even played with this thing, but you know it's a nice figure. It's a nice figure to look at. The story was great. I'm not gonna do any spoilers or anything like that, but I kind of look at it like a Fight Club scenario. You know, you only get one chance to really enjoy it, and then after that, you have to appreciate it. And I think this figure jumps straight out of the comic. So many freaking accessories. Like I opened the thing, everything fell out everywhere. Absolutely love this figure. And you know, how do you come out in 2023? And I actually had some time to do some stuff with him. Except probably number 2 contender. Probably not number 1.
You know, Ted, you're really nice because I was told a couple days ago that I spoiled the Last Ronin for Random Stuff Garage. That's Chris on YouTube. I spoiled it for him back on the Infinity Equation, which I left like 8 months ago or something.
Yeah.
6 months ago, something like that. So you're a much nicer person than me. I was like, oh yeah, the Last Ronin is, and then I said who it was.
Yeah, it's been out for a minute, you know, and like time.
It's been out for
lapses
so long.
after a
I'm like, how
while,
could
but-
I? Yeah, it's like, how could I spoil something that's been out that long?
Yeah, but
What
you know, some people are
is-
just learning about it now, and especially from the figure, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was a comic," and you know, then they get into it. But yeah,
Ted, do you have a certain amount of time where it's like, if you haven't seen it by this time?
I guess it depends on what it is. I'd say with like a movie, it's probably like I don't know, maybe a month. I don't know.
A month.
I don't see. I don't care about spoilers. Like I know when I get on the internet, I know what I'm getting in for, and if something gets ruined for me, like that's on me. And plus, I don't remember anything anyway. So by the next day, I'm like, I don't know, never heard of it. So I don't know. It's been out for a minute. If you don't know,
It's been out a while.
spoiled for you. It's a bummer, but
Well, look, Alex is a comic book artist. He doesn't read comics, so he hates them.
I know.
So
I want
yeah,
it.
it's fine. So you don't know who the Last Ronin is. You don't know which turtle that is.
No, I know who it is.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. We're being nice.
I
We're
definitely
being
know.
nice today.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the cool thing is Nick is going all in on that comic, so that's going to be another rabbit hole that I'm.
yeah, I saw
currently
they have the whole like line coming out, and I don't know. We were discussing if we were going to have that on the site or not. So time will tell on that one.
All right. Well, my number 4 is a Mafex figure or a Mafex figure, however you want to pronounce it. I know I'll get in trouble for saying it wrong by half the people. So I guess I just pissed off everyone. It's the only figure I've ever done a YouTube short for, and I love this figure. It's nothing but 90s awesome goodness, and it is the Mafex Nightfall Batman. This figure is so good. Mafex is killing it. Like, I've been wanting a decent DC action figure line, 112-ish scale for so long. Mattel really never did it well. Icons got really close to having a phenomenal line. DC or Mattel DC Universe was awesome for its day, but the figures don't really hold up, I think. But Mafex, while pricey, it's a home run. Like every time I get one of their figures, especially the DC, it's like a home run. And this is no exception. Just a great figure. I love the Nightfall story. So my number 4 is John Paul Valley, the Nightfall Batman.
Azrael Batman, right?
Yeah. Eventually Azrael, yeah.
Did I spoil that?
You spoiled it, Alex. No spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Alex, you're next. You got our...
Tell me what's number...
It's our favorite wall crawler, our favorite web slinger.
Oh, yeah. It is.
The classic suit, yeah.
Classic suit Spider-Man by Hot Toys. I actually had the Homecoming, or one of the MCU Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Mans, and I sold him as soon as I saw that this guy was up for pre-order. Because I really just wanted the classic suit Spider-Man. I don't care that you don't have an alternate head sculpt. I can get that easily. And he would have been ranked a lot higher if it weren't for this bodysuit. Like, I'm scared to fucking pose this thing in like a super articulated position because...
Do it.
I mean, I do.
Do
I
it.
take a picture of it, and then I'll put him back in a vanilla pose right afterwards.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Because
Pose him like this.
I can. I actually can. But if you leave him there for too long, his hand fell off. If you leave it there for too long, I've seen some pictures of Spidey's outfit kind of leaving like little stress marks on like the elbows and the knees and stuff like that. So
is it like a more vinyl material?
It's weird. It's like it's not really like I haven't owned like any of the. This is considered the VGM series video game. It's based off. It's a classic Spider-Man, but it's based off the video game appearance from the PS4, PS5 game, I believe. So I don't have any of the of the other video game figures, so I don't know if this rubber suit is standard for those figures, for the Spider-Man figures, but it's weird. It's like it's almost like it's completely rubber, but like the chest is like it's like puffy. And I guess it's just to give him his bulk or whatever, but it's still a great figure. The thing that puts it in the position that it's in is the accessories that it comes with. It comes with the backdrop and it comes with an extra scorpion tail. It's just a tail, which you can like have displayed going through the brick backdrop out the exterior of the building, his building where he lives in, I guess. Or you can
There it is right there.
Right. Or if you flip it around, it's his bedroom. So it's got his window, it's got like a few of his belongings or whatever. So I mean that for me is why it moved it up a notch to where it is in my favorite figures of the year.
So you can't do that.
No, not that. You can't get the right leg up above the arm like that for sure. Yeah.
What cover is this?
Spider-Man number 300. Amazing Spider-Man.
Nice, man. Yeah.
Arlane.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, this is not totally the pose because it's an impossible pose to put him in.
It is.
But,
very famous pose, but
yeah,
I recognize it.
Cool, man. All right. Moving on to Ted, you're up, man. What's yours?
All right. I think I have this in order. So I'm also going to be a shill for a minute. Number 3 was the Action Force Series 2 Sergeant Slaughter. And first of all, I'm going to take this card back off. These stands, I lost the sunglasses every time. I don't know how I haven't lost these yet. I'm going to put those to the side. These stands are... There goes the hat. The second problem. Bobby, these are my only gripes, okay? Other than that, it's great. The stand is amazing because, like, I can literally hold this thing upside down. That stand's going to hold them in there. And this was close for me because Duster was also a really good figure. I love that Duster head sculpt. But Sergeant Slaughter, you know, I was born in the 80s. Grew up with wrestling and G.I. Joes, and Sergeant Slaughter was always there. So this was the first one that I actually like pulled out, played with, messed around with, did some stop motion with them because like the movement that you can get out of them is actually really good. Like they're stiff enough to hold a pose for a long period of time, but then also like posable enough that you can still make tiny stop motion style movements and actually do some really cool stuff with them. I have all my Action Force displayed on the desk right behind me here. Like I said, shelling out a little bit because we are, sellers of Action Force, and we do have a buy one get one half off sale going on until midnight Eastern time.
And where is that?
Helladopetoys.com. So until the ball drops here in Columbus, Ohio, everything site wide, buy one get one half off, and that includes all of Series 2 Action Force minus Desert Rat. Need to get my hands on one of those, or else he might have been on the list instead.
He's a Valverse.com exclusive.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes more sense. But yeah, absolutely love the Sergeant Slaughter figure. Have had a lot of fun with him.
Cool. Right on. All right. Moving on from that, I'm looking for my. Oh, there it is. I'm looking for my number 3. Here we go. Which is, look, man, it's another Mafex. They're killing it this year. The Cyborg Superman. This is the one I got today.
Oh, that's
today. I had to change my list today because, and look, I get recency bias as a thing. I just got it today. I'm excited about it. I don't care. It's my list. I'll do what I want. And this figure is friggin' phenomenal, man. And look, we got the Kryptonian regeneration suit Superman. Now we have Cyborg Superman. Steel should be coming in a few months, I believe. So Mafex is working their way through the death and return of Superman. Maybe not the death yet. We need, I would love if Mafex did Doomsday and a shirtless, beaten up Superman to go with him. That would be cool.
With a mullet? Oh no, he had a mullet when he came back. Okay.
He had a mullet when he came back. Yeah, and so the Kryptonian regeneration suit, they've done that one. He has that beautiful, glorious, thick, full,
with the silver
veiny mullet.
Yeah.
So, but this Cyborg Superman is phenomenal. Wired cape. It's got this, and it's going to be kind of, it might be hard to show, but it's got this stuffy, flappy thing under his cape around the neck. And I never would have thought to do something like this, but it kind of keeps the cape puffy around his head, so it doesn't just fall flat around there. Yeah. It just makes it look so nice, flowy, billowing. It's just so nice. It adds another layer to the wired cape, which is already so good. Such a good figure. Great accessories. He's got the swappable forearm with the laser blast coming out. You can put that on him. He's got 5 sets of hands. Just Mafex is I used to go back and forth. What do I like more, Mezco or Mafex? It's settled. It's Mafex. That's my favorite action figure company, Mafex. They're phenomenal.
Ryan, how much was that? Because I was a big fan of Cyborg Superman back in the 90s, and that thing looks amazing. That's hit me in the nostalgia there.
It depends on where you get it. If you go to Hobby Link Japan, I think it was $75.
Oh, wow.
But shipping from Japan, so you're gonna add 15 to 20 on top of it for that. My guy is Andrew Yen. He runs a shop called Toyco. He does exclusively import figures, high end stuff like this, Mafex, Figure Arts, Mezco, other third party stuff. This was I think it was $100 shipped to my house. I think. Don't quote me on that. But shout out to Toyco. I get all my Mafex figures from them. Just a great figure. So that is my number 3. Alex, you are up next with your number 2. Right? Yep.
I don't know.
It's you.
Bring up the picture.
Yeah. I just had to check where we're at. Yeah, you're up next with your number 2 of the year.
Uh-huh.
And it is the
Gremlin
guy.
Yeah.
From Gremlins 2.
The Brain Gremlin.
Brain.
Yeah, voiced by Tony Randall and Gremlins.
Check out the Batwing. The goat. Who knows the reference? Anyone? No?
Say it again.
The Brain, the goat, the Batwing. Someone in the chat will know.
The Brain? No, I don't.
Another
All right.
reference.
Good.
So this guy
Yes,
was. What is it?
it's a movie called Waiting
Um,
with Ryan
oh,
Reynolds.
Great movie. That's with
Yes.
what's his name? Deadpool. What's his name? Ryan Reynolds. They're
I
all
just
waiters.
said that. Yeah, I just said Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fine specimen of a human.
He's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy was actually originally released back in like early 2010s by NECA, and he didn't have like a fabric suit. It's a whole new sculpt. That original figure went for about $100-$120. Talk about another figure, which I almost pulled the trigger on before I found out this guy was coming out. And it's just like this is the last droplings of the Gremlins 2 figures that NECA is releasing. They've mostly been concentrating on the Part 1 figures, but now they're actually re-ramping up on the Part 2 figures. They're re-releasing the Mogwais, and they've released this guy, and he's just one of my favorite Gremlins that I have. So, yeah, Brain Gremlin. Gremlins 2, the best Gremlins movie out there. Better than
All right.
I agree with that. Gremlins 2 is an amazing movie. We do have some of the Brain Gremlins in stock, and I've been so tempted to open them. But I love the first movie ones so much, and the styles clash so hard. Like, just opening one wasn't really worth it. But man, that looks amazing though. Like
it really is. Also, they released an accessory pack which has like from the first movie, which has like an egg and like some other stuff, like a Corvette for like the Barbie Corvette. But it came with a 2-scale gizmo. So that was just like, I wish they would release to scale Mogwais to the full-grown Gremlins that they're coming out with, because you know the Mogwais that they released are like almost the same size as the full-grown Gremlins. So
yeah, the only one that they have is Santa Stripe, and it's not articulating anything, but he comes in a little bag, really cute. But that's the closest thing you have. But I agree with you. Like they don't scale. Like what's the point? But
no, they don't. They don't. I mean, they look great. They're not very articulated at all. I mean, like they're basically statues in a way. But no, that Santa Stripe, man, is number one on my Gremlins to get list. For sure.
Now, Ted, you said you had them in stock. Where are they in stock at?
HelloDopeToys.com. I know the chat was asking for it. I think my link got blocked maybe. HelloDopeToys.com. There is some Brain Gremlins left in stock. Not a lot, but they are there. And then we have the buy one, get one half off. And again, my business partner is extending that apparently here in the chat. So buy one, get one half off until whenever it ends. I don't know when it ends right now.
YouTube will automatically block URLs in the chat, but I put it in there. It is there. You might have to copy and paste it. I don't know if it's clickable. But yeah, HelloDopeToys.com.
And guys, go pick that up, because I guarantee you that the Brain Gremlin is going to sell out. And when he sells out and he's discontinued, he's going to double, triple in value. So I'm telling you guys, pick it up if you can. HelloDope Toys.
Art G just made an order. He said, Ted, buy one, get one half off. Just placed an order.
Thank you, Art G. I appreciate that. Like, yeah, my I don't mean to keep like peeking down at my phone, but I went on mute. Phone keeps vibrating, so I keep like they're out there. I appreciate it, guys, a lot. Thank you.
Yep. Well, we like to support good people here, and just don't go the way of Megalopolis, please. Okay.
Man, that's a fear, not because like we would, but like
I get it.
With Megalopolis and then Dork Side, it's always like the fear of could it? Like I don't know what happens next year, but we're good right now. We're great. Everything's shipping out real nice. You're not gonna have any issues. We appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, look, it's always a risk, and it's. I don't think Dork Side went in trying to screw anyone over. I just think they got in a bad rut and couldn't get out. But I don't know the whole story, so
yeah. Pandemic also affected people in business in lots of ways.
All right, so before I get into mine, actually into Ted's next pick, I want to get to some chats. We got a super chat from Renato Guerva. Renato, listen, thank you so much. You've been sharing the link.
You got to roll the R's in Spanish in that last name.
I don't know if you've noticed, my best Hispanic friend Alex, but I'm white. I'm impossibly white. Renato.
Should be a shit.
Better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Renato.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I love you, Alex. Renato says, bros, I hope you all have a blessed New Year's. Ryan, you're an amazing dude and look forward to what you have in store for us in 2023. Oh, I got more shows like this, man. He says, I am one of your biggest fans and will always show you guys love. Renato, thank you so much, man. That means the world to me, and I appreciate the super chat. And I appreciate you always sharing the link on Twitter because ever since you discovered this show, you've been sharing it every week, and much appreciated, man. Thank you. We also got a super chat from Black Knight, the other guy behind HelloDopeToys.com. He says, heard it got extended to the end of the first, Ted. So there you go. Looks like the buy one, get one half off on HelloDopeToys.com will last until tomorrow. Tomorrow at midnight. And their central time, Ted. You didn't hear me. Midnight, you're muted. The end of the first, so midnight central time?
Eastern time.
Eastern time. There you go. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Black Knight. Neil Hill says 3POA is the GOAT. Thank you. And then I just want to give credit. Captain K023, he said waiting. He got the reference. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to our number 2. Or we already got Alex's number 2. We got Ted's number 2 next. Ted, let's hear it.
Okay, where? Oh, yeah, here he is. Sorry, I got like a pile here. And he's stuck. My number 2 was the Symbiote Spider-Man, the retro carded. Sorry, I got to work on my camera skills better here. The retro carded Symbiote Spider-Man. Sorry, his webbing is a little limp at the moment. This is based off of the retro carded Spider-Man that we got in like 2020, who I also have sitting around here somewhere. But such an amazing upgrade to the Pizza Spider-Man version that we have.
Oh, yeah.
Really great poses you can get into him. I don't know if I can do that McFarlane pose that you have. But I could probably get pretty close with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely love this figure. See, when you're toy hunting, sometimes it gets a little boring. You're like, oh, I'm just going out seeing the same old crap. And then something like this comes out and it gives you the will to hunt again. Suddenly you're like mapping out your stores, driving 90 down the highway. You're pushing little children out of the way. You're like, yo, I'm going to find this Spider-Man. And I got lucky, found the Spider-Man. I am a top tier toy hunter. This is my trophy. This is my kill. Love this.
I have never actually seen that Spider-Man at retail. I have it. I got one, but I've never seen it at retail. I just want to shout out thanks to Anthony's Customs for this picture. I stole his thumbnail. So, yeah, that's an Anthony's Customs thumbnail.
That's a really good pose. Like,
yeah,
man, I got to step my game up.
Yeah, he's been in the action figure hobby for a long time, so he can pose.
Wow, I'm gonna have to actually mess with that later.
All right, my number 4 pick is it's one that I knew was going to be in the top 5. If you watch my collection video, I kind of hinted at it. It is the 3-0 Hulkbuster. This big boy right here. Now, expensive figure, but that's relative because it was half the price of the Mafex Hulkbuster, which I did not get because the Mafex Hulkbuster was like $500. This thing was half of that. Has light up features. It lights up, the main arc reactor in the chest lights up. And I went to put batteries in it, and I don't know what the hell I did with the batteries. I can't find them because I take them out. I don't keep the batteries in the figure. I take them out because they can leak if you leave them in. But light up arc reactor. The arc reactors are the I don't know what these are on the back. Those light up. The eyes light up. The reactors on the shins light up. The bottom of the feet light up. Like there's lights all over this thing. It's die-cast plastic. You can open this thing up. and it's quite the process.
What
But
kind
the
of
Mark
batteries?
43, huh?
What kind of batteries?
They're like the little like watch batteries.
Yeah,
Like-
circular. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like AAA. But you can open this thing all the way up, just like in the movie, and it is quite the process. I'll try to do what I can here,
Don't break it.
but I mean everything kind of folds out. Yeah, I don't want to break it,
Yeah.
but I gotta show this. The chest pieces fold down, just like in the movie, man. They fold down. The inside pieces unclip, and then that opens.
Can you put a Tony head sculpt in there or something?
Oh no, you can buy the Mark 43 armor,
And put it in there.
take the legs
Yeah, that's
and the arms off, and the whole thing pops in.
Dude, it's literally like a mini Hot Toys.
Yes,
Same exact thing that they did.
yes,
For
You pop-
$250?
$250.
That's a fucking steal.
No, it doesn't include the Mark 43. That was a separate
No,
purchase.
no. Right.
But I mean, that's a complete figure too.
Yeah.
You just take all the stuff off. You put them in there, right? And you can close it all up with him in there. But also inside there, you could peg in a stand and pose the complete figure on a flight stand coming out of his chest, which is it's so freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
And I can't find it. I wish I had the batteries because I'd light this thing up. It looks so cool. Articulation is phenomenal. Everything slides and moves out of the way. The size of that arm,
Oh, wow.
you can get all the way up.
Yeah, the Hot Toys one is like, 5 POA, basically.
The remember the face punching thing? He's punching Hulk in the face in
Yeah.
Age of Ultron. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Both of the gauntlets fold back and the punchy thing pops out. So you can make Hulk go to sleep. Swappable hands. He has open palm, for the repulsor blast, and then fisted hands. Just a phenomenal figure. 3-0 is always putting out great stuff.
They are at very different scales, too. I mean, they do
Yes.
1 stuff, they do 112 stuff, they do
Yes.
1/8 stuff,
Now this is technically 112, but it's actually
slightly smaller.
bigger.
Oh, wow. Really?
It's closer to 110,
Hmm.
like NECA scale. But I have it displayed with my Legends, my Marvel Legends, and it looks great. So that is my number 2 for 2022. Love that figure. All right, next up, we are getting into our number 1 pick for the year, and Alex, I'm kind of a part of your number 1 pick here.
You are. You have a connection to this figure, which is actually my number 5 figure of the year.
I say it's number 1.
Sure, for this
Because I
show's
sent it to you.
purposes, yeah. I mean, just because.
Because I'm so special to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
It is the NECA Usagi Yojimbo deluxe figure, and they just knocked it out of the park with this figure. He's just like fabric. Anytime, I think I'm just a sucker for like fabric, for like cloth, tailored. It's just anytime they throw that into like a 6-inch figure, I'm just like, it's got to be in the top 5. But it's got like so many accessories. The presentation with the window box, how they always do, is just awesome. But this is just like he's one of those characters in the Turtle universe that it's just like he's like the Boba Fett of Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So when he came out, I knew even before, once he got previewed, I knew he was going to be in my top 5-10 list of the figures of the year. So yeah, Usagi Yojimbo, Stan Sakai, just an awesome storyteller, artist. His creation, Usagi. So this is my number 5.
I have that.
And I forgot to mention that Ryan actually got this guy for me. I can't remember the specifics of why, but you ended up sending him to me, and thank you for that.
Yeah, I had pre-ordered 2 of them.
Right, that's what it was. Okay.
I still haven't opened mine, but I traded you some stuff in exchange for painting those head sculpts.
Right. So
No.
you did me the favor of not having to go out to fucking Target?
Yeah.
iTunes or Target? Yeah. Jesus.
Good
I
luck
mean, I
ever
would've never
finding
found-
him at Target.
Yeah. I mean, I would have never found him. I mean, I
Yeah.
would have ended up paying like $70 for him. And what was he like retail at 30, 40, 50, something like that?
I think 30, 35 is
Yeah,
retail for these
it's like,
now.
I mean, I would have had to go through the whole Easter egg hunt to get him, but thank you, Ryan.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. All right.
It's on my desk there.
Ted, your number one pick for 2022.
Oh boy, let me. He's a hefty one. I don't know if he's as hefty as that one you just had there, but
He was
number
pretty good.
number one is the Four Horsemen Figura Obscura headless horseman. One, it's the first horse that I've ever owned, so that might have gone a long way in my decision because man, they make a killer horse.
It looks like it's the most articulated horse I've ever seen in action figure form.
Yeah, he can do some things. Like it can even stand up on the hind legs. But I was told not to do that for long periods of time. So I don't. But for one good shot here and there, totally worth trying to get it going. Plus the cape, it's got the wired cape. We have multiple heads here.
Wired cape, obviously.
Yeah, wired cape, so you can set it up to flow. So it makes some really. Sorry, I'm doing a really bad job showing this on camera. Makes some really nice shots for like riding scenes. You can get that flowing cape going real well. I think the only miss here is like not having a way to really light up this head somehow, because these flame effects are also amazing. But absolutely love this piece. Once Halloween was over, it stayed up there. I thought the other Figura Obscura Father Christmas might, take the shelf there, but he did not. So the Headless Horseman, it looks like, is here to stay on the shelf. Has its own shelf because he's so huge, and he's usually chasing the Hood, my unofficial number one action figure of 2022, even though it was released last year, just because that figure is perfect for any toy photography photo. Like,
Very
challenge me on
versatile,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, absolutely love this.
I bet this Figura Obscura Headless Horseman is going to be in a lot of people's top 5, top 10, whatever. I mean, I saw a lot of hype for this thing.
Yeah,
it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I couldn't not do it. Like there was a lot of debate on things, but I was just like, especially for what I paid for it too. Like this is also a lot of plastic for the amount of money that was paid. And they got it out super quick. Like that thing was here in a week and a half, 2 weeks tops.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Awesome for that.
All right. I guess that leaves me in my number one pick.
Yeah.
And big surprise, it's another Mafex. Like I said, Mafex has become my favorite line to collect. And it is the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Superman. I got this. When did this come out? Ted, do you remember like maybe 6 months ago or so?
I'm not sure on that one myself.
Whenever it came out. It looks like it jumped right off the comic book page. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite Batman stories from the comics is this Superman here. Just the bulkiness of the figure, because Frank Miller, he liked to draw him thick, right? Like his style was big, bulky. Everyone, Batman, he was huge.
Yeah.
Superman, he drew him huge. But the range you can still get in the joints is just awesome. Reaching across his chest, just everything about the figure is perfect. I have no criticisms about this at all. So yeah, my pick, Dark Knight Returns Superman. Number one, Mafex wins the year for me.
I'm surprised you didn't throw in any Mezco figures this year.
Look, if we have
because you didn't receive them, they didn't deliver them.
No. I did receive some Mezco. In fact, I got one today.
Really? Wow.
From Toyco, along with my Cyborg Superman. This came in around the same time. I got my Mafex Cyborg Superman and the Predator.
Oh, the Predator. Okay.
Which the Predator, it's good, but Mezco, it's 2023. You got to have some ankle pivot, man.
Is that based on the first movie or the second movie?
First movie.
First movie, okay. So
Yeah.
do you have any of the NECA Predators? Do you have the first?
I do. I have a lot of them.
And comparatively, does it hold up? You don't think?
I think this one aesthetically looks better, but believe it or not, the NECAs are more posable.
Wow.
This one is actually pretty limited. Like single jointed elbow, it goes to 90.
Oh.
The legs are double jointed, right? You can get some good range in the legs, but there's no bicep swivel.
Wow.
You just have swivel at the elbow and the ankle. There's basically nothing.
No pivot.
There's like very tiny pivot, and dude, even forward back.
Oh,
That's
wow. No toe pivot? No toe articulation?
No toe. No, Mezco doesn't do toe. So it looks nice. The netting on his body is fine. It seems a little bit loose to me, but I don't know how else they would do it. But I am going to continue to sell off my NECA Predators, and I am just going to have a Predator 1 collection. So I'll probably keep my Dutch and my Shane Black.
No, you got to keep. No, you have to keep the Arnie's for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of the Predators from NECA that I have on, they're already being sold off. Put it that way.
Oh, one question I had for you: weren't you like waiting for like years for the '89 Batman from Mezco?
January is 3 years. Yeah, I've been waiting 3 years.
It hasn't come out yet.
Nope.
The update?
Nope. No updates.
They don't ever update, really. Right?
They don't update. I mean, they update in that they silently push it back on their website. You can go look at the figure on their website, and they push the release date back, and they push it back and push it back.
Wow, that's crazy.
But they don't say anything. They don't say why. But it's been 3 years. Yeah,
that's
3
crazy.
years, I think. Hold on, 3 years. I think January 20th.
Insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, no, it's unacceptable. And then Mr. Freeze hits 3 years in March.
I just pre-ordered the I have the Ultraman, which they pushed back until 2. But I just pre-ordered the Dick Tracy 2-pack with the flat top and Tracy.
Yeah.
So does that mean I'm going to see them in 2025, 2026?
You know, sometimes they're on time. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I feel like the body they use for Dick Tracy and Flat Top is probably the same body, and it's probably one they've used 100 times before. So maybe that one won't take that long. But
yeah, so you think that maybe because of the rubber suit that '89 Batman has, that's kind of it's a new thing that they have to produce, manufacture. So maybe that could be
it's a seamless rubber body, but Mr. Freeze isn't.
Right.
And that's going on 3 years. Yeah. Equan says, dude, my kid is almost 3. I pre-ordered that Mezco 89 Batman before he was born. Yeah.
So crazy.
Matthew chose the Constantine as his number 1. My Constantine still hasn't arrived. I'm waiting on that one. I ordered through Toyco, and somehow their shipment got caught somewhere. So I'm waiting on that one. Yeah. So
Eddie says
let's
my
go.
I'll be in college by the time I get my Dick Tracy figures.
Yeah, probably. We do got a couple chats here I want to get to. Art Gutierrez says, Alex, have Ryan say my last name.
I like. Very good. Nice.
I like. Nice. And then we got one from Jeremy J. Just found this channel.
Liar.
Really enjoying everything except for Ryan. Y'all have a happy new year. That's fine. That's fine.
You know, you could just fire him from your show. For speaking up to his superiors. But
you want in?
No, yeah, he's irreplaceable.
Thank you, Jeremy. All right, yeah, that's our top 5. Now, do you guys have any like honorable mentions you want to throw out there? Or I know everyone always does. It's kind of a cheat. When it's hard to narrow it down.
I had one on standby because I was debating, and that's the Marvel Legends that VHS cell shaded Wolverine. And really, honestly, it was just because this is the best Wolverine head that they've done. Yeah. Like
PP Pants Wolverine.
Yeah. And like I was gonna say like, oh man, and they got the claws right too, but then I pulled it out and these claws are all janky. So
The claws suck, dude.
The
It's like,
claws
why did they go back
suck.
to that style claw?
yeah,
They had it. They had it.
Yeah, there was one that was really good. They're just nice, sharp, straight. But yeah, no, this one came out great, and I was like, oh, they fixed it, and then yeah.
Those claws need Viagra.
Using a softer plastic now compared to the other guys before. Is that what you're saying? Brian?
Well, with that one, they wanted to make the claws look like the cartoon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The short little, they're short and stabby.
Oh,
they don't look as good in the cartoon when he pulls out his claws, but
gotcha.
yeah. And the more I look at it, the more I dislike the cell shading. I thought I was going to be in love with the cell shading. I was like, damn it, I'm going to have to buy all these Marvel Legends figures again. And the more I stare at it, the more I hate it. But man, that head, it's the best Wolverine head that they've done so far, and that's what sold me. But I don't know.
Me too. I bought that Wolverine for that Wolverine head.
Yeah,
stupid things I do for a little head.
Yeah, one. But you said you could get this cell shading off, right?
Yeah, you can. You can't see the problem is when the plastic has two colors on it. So I don't know about that one. But some of them, like the new Spider-Man that came out with cell shading, he's red and blue, but then he has another darker blue painted on his underarm for the cell shading. So if you try to remove that, it's going to take it down to red.
Oh.
Yeah, so that one you can't. But the Wolverine, you probably could.
I don't know, because the head looks good. The yellow looks like it would match that, what was it, the love triangle Wolverine, the one with the bone claws. I don't remember what that one was called. That yellow looks like it would match.
Yeah, it'll probably be very close. I had a runner up that I kind of already showed. The only reason why this one didn't make the top 5 is because it is basically just mostly a repaint, but also because when I opened it, the arm just fell off, like the peg was broken. Now I did get a replacement, and the replacement came today from Andrew at Toyco. He took care of me. He reached out to Medicom and got me a replacement body, so it fixed it. But phenomenal symbiote suit, Spider-Man figure, superposable. The blue on the bottom of the feet, just like that Spider-Man 300 cover, so nice.
Do you have the Marvel Legends one also?
I do, yeah, the one that Ted showed. Yeah, I have that
right,
one.
right. Do you have a preference, or do you think they each have their own?
The Mafex. So I have like a Spider-Verse display that I showed in my collection video, which if you were subscribed to the channel,
I actually watched half of it.
Oh, no, you actually did. Okay. But then in one of the details, which you'll see in a future video, I have a Mafex display in there. So that was a runner-up for me. Also, another runner-up, an Action Force figure. It's really just a gear pack because I got Steel Brigade last year, but Steel Brigade with this, the heavy weapons gear pack, just takes it. It's like a different figure. Takes it to the next level. It's awesome. I love the green helmet. So that's an honorable mention. And then a new, well, not a new company, but a company that's new to 112 scale action figures. They traditionally do die-cast cars and stuff like that, but they're dipping their toes into the action figure market. This Invisible Man by Jada Toys. Oh, this is one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It came in my pile of loot yesterday. I've gotten a lot of figures this week. It's crazy, but
me too, man.
Just that little hand accessory right there, pulling that glove off.
Dude, that's how did they do it?
So cool, man.
Okay, gotcha.
That's so cool.
It's so
look at that.
Simple and creative. It's like, why aren't other companies doing that kind of stuff?
And I mean, for this being like their first series of figures, these Universal monsters, this is great, dude. This is as good as any Hasbro figure.
Are you going to get the rest of them?
No, I can't buy everything, but I saw a review of this one. I'm like, that's so cool. I got to get it. And it is. It's a fantastic figure. I might get Creature from the Black Lagoon. Probably call it there, but Jada Toys is dipping into Street Fighter 2.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of your sweet spot.
I mean, yeah. Oh, there goes the fireworks. It's New Year's. I don't know if you guys could hear that.
No.
But Yeah, so Street Fighter 2 that will scale with Marvel figures, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. What about you, Ted? Have you seen what Jada's doing with Street Fighter?
The Jada Toy Street Fighters figures, the second I saw those, I called up Aaron and I said, have you seen these? We need to find a way to get. I don't think we have a way to get anything from Jada Toys just yet. So I think, I don't know if sometimes we get stuff through EE. I don't know if they're going to have that. But even if they do, I don't know if I want it from them. I'd rather get it straight from Jada. But man, those things look amazing. Like, whenever we want something for ourselves, we're like, yeah, we need to sell this in the store so we can, use it for some marketing. But yeah, those look good. Those look real good.
Cool. All right, Ted, I know you got to get going. Alex, do you have any runners up that you wanted to show or talk about before?
And it's kind of a bit of a cheat because it's a runner-up, but it's a 4-pack. NECA pre-mutation 4-pack, which is basically Splinter, Bebop Rocksteady, and Baxter Fly Stockman in their human form before they got mutated. I haven't even opened it yet, but just a presentation. The characters themselves are really choice characters that, because at this point, the NECA cartoon Turtles line has gotten so deep into the weeds. It's like, I'm at the point now where I can just pick and choose the characters that I want because I've got the core characters, and to me, these are some of the core characters that are going to complement the mutated figures. So yeah, that's fine.
I'm not an inbox collector, but man, that just looks like one that you don't open.
It does, yeah.
Like,
you know what?
You just leave it alone.
Yeah, they do that a lot with their 4-packs. I've seen a lot of guys, a lot of collectors keep their Ninja Turtles Mutagen Tour, which is like the Ninja Turtles when they went out on an actual concert tour and playing live. I actually was at the show in Radio City Music Hall when I was 12 or some shit. The oldest kid there. But they do that a lot, and the presentation was awesome because it was an actual stage you can use as an actual diorama if you want, which I did. And then their movie Turtles was the VHS tape, the long box. It's dude, they just knock it out of the park with these 4-packs.
Yeah, Greg says he remembers you were hyped on that set back on
Yeah. Just because, Splinter is one of my favorite characters, and it's just it harkens back to the original 5-episode pilot of the Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that is next to the movie, the 1990 movie, that is the pinnacle of Ninja Turtles. So to have those figures, and man, just mark it off the want list.
And then Greg also wanted to say, Dark Claw, check out Fwoosh. He has a few shorts where he's shown taking off the cell shading off of Cyclops and some others. It's just nail polish remover.
Acetone. Right, exactly.
Don't dump it on the figure. Just watch the Fwoosh videos. You got to be real careful because it will eat the plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll check it out. I trust Robo, so
yeah, for sure. And I've done it. I've done it. It works fine as long as you're careful. I was doing it one time on a gung ho. I was taking that stupid freaking Nazi tattoo looking thing that they put on him on the classified gung ho, his chest tattoo.
You took it off?
Yeah.
Why?
It was horrible. It wasn't the Marine tattoo. It wasn't.
It was something different that they made up. You mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was taking it off with some acetone.
Yeah.
And I was turning around from my workbench, and I knocked the nail polish remover over onto him, and it spilt onto him, and he immediately started melting.
Oh no shit! Wow.
Yeah. So, all right, Ted. Thanks so much for joining us, man. Appreciate you stopping by and filling in for Tony when he couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's a little weird because I'm used to watching this. So sitting here, I kept saying, "Hey, you're actually on the show, buddy. You gotta say something here." Really appreciate the opportunity. I want to thank everybody in the chat. My phone has been blowing up, so anybody that has visited the store, helladopetoys.com, we appreciate it. We do really fast shipping, but please note that the post office is closed on Monday, so anything ordered right now is not going to go out till Tuesday, but it will go out first thing Tuesday morning. All of you guys are awesome. Ryan, thank you for having me on. Alex, it was an honor to be a co-host with you. Like,
Thank you. Great. It was great
Big
talking to
deal,
you and meeting
guys.
you, Ted. It was really fun talking to you. And
yeah,
Happy New Year and all that.
yeah.
So-
Happy New Year to you guys.
Thank you, man. Do you want to plug what we got coming up on your channel?
Oh,
Or do
you
wanna
are
save
right, man. Oh, yes. So, we run a show on YouTube. It's this show is Hella Dope. You can find us at Hella Dope Toys on YouTube. But we have a special guest on January 8th, kicking off the new year with our guest, Mr. Laser Pants himself. So Ryan will be our very first guest of 2023. We have some other guests lined up, but man, we wanted to start it off big. The man from Infinity Equation, the man from the 3POA podcast, like
The man with the hot gun. With the hot gun.
so
Heat gun.
Heat gun.
we that's going to be Sunday at January 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So 9 p.m. if you live in Ohio with me, it's what, 6 p.m. your time, Ryan, or in Seattle, something like that.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know time zones, but super excited, and that's how we're gonna start off our new year, man. So
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it, man. I this is so last minute. I didn't put a link in the chat. I didn't put a link in the description, but hopefully one of the mods can find it and drop that in the chat. But Ted, thanks for stopping by, man, and I'll see you Sunday, the 8th.
yes, can't wait. Thank you guys, really appreciate it again.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Later, Ted. All right, now we're gonna hang out, Alex.
We are.
We're
We
gonna
are.
keep going. I mean, it's New Year's. Who cares? Look, we got
You don't have
173
anything
people
to do tonight?
watching. They don't want the show to end.
You don't have anything to do tonight? Do you guys have any?
No, the family's not here. They're out with the in-laws having fun.
Oh, and they left you behind to play with your toys. Wow.
Well, I had a show to do. I got a show to do. Show up and I do the show.
Yeah. No, I appreciate and respect your commitment.
Yes. Now, before we start our next discussion,
Mhm.
I got a super chat from my very good buddy Sal. Sal at 2 Cent Toys. Mafex, more like Mefex. Mezco, more like meh. No. Am I right? Ryan hates those companies. I don't. And there's been some talk about me hating companies lately. The only company I hate is Super 7, just for the record.
Hmm. The prices.
But no, I don't hate companies. I'll criticize toys, but I'll criticize business practices. But I don't know if companies are worthy of hate. That's a weird concept for me. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't get that too. I mean, maybe you might dislike an individual in a company, but you'd have to get to know them personally before
Right.
you can, which,
Yeah, it's a very
it's all
weird
constructive.
concept.
It's all constructive. I've never taken your criticism as anything other than constructive.
Yeah, I always wanted it to be constructive. And I feel like, I don't know, I always thought I was very like forgiving and positive of things, but maybe not. I don't know.
No,
I don't care. All I know is I'm honest and I give my opinions on this show. And
you to
it
me
is what it is.
Yeah, you to me have always been kind of like the voice of the collectors in the community out there.
Really?
Yeah. Like, to me, like, I mean, this is me thinking about like we were all on the show together. It's like Bobby was kind of like you said, like the pit bull of the group, And I always thought like I was kind of like the voice of reason in a way, the kind of calm mediating thing in there. And then Dante's just like super nice. But I've always felt like you really have been the closest. You and Dante had always been the closest connected to the community. Like you were the ones that were always the most, that were speaking to like the subscribers and the viewers and relaying the way that they felt about the products that we were talking about. And I always felt like you also echoed a lot of the ways that people felt, the collectors felt about the toys that they were buying at that time,
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I will speak for the collectors because I am one.
Mhm.
And I mean, this is a hobby. It's supposed to be fun,
Right.
People should be getting the most that they can for their money, right? I mean, I don't get money for free. Do you?
No.
No, you're sitting there getting carpal tunnel drawing all those comic books, man.
Yeah, I know. I got
You know?
seriously, like I'm like developing arthritis in my right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you want to burn your money on your hobby when you know that it could be done better? And
Man, I got kids to feed.
when you see these guys on YouTube talking about it, don't you want them to like kind of speak for you? Like,
Yeah.
hey, like prices are out of control, and we get inflation in the economy, but this is getting a little nuts here now.
Mhm. No,
You
there's
know?
there's something that I've noticed, and this can actually go for the comic book industry too. There's been a lot more focused catering on collectors as opposed to the casual collectors. So when that happens, I've noticed that like it's just like price jack after price jack. It's like
Oh, dude.
it's just like look at Marvel Legends. Like I don't collect Marvel Legends, but from what I've heard and what you've told me and everybody I've listened to, it's just like in the last few years they've gone up in price more than they should have.
I mean, the basic Marvel Legend is 25, and then if it's part of some like special event line or something, then it's 28, or if it's an exclusive, or some of them like regular release figures, Marvel Legends have been 32. They're calling deluxe figures that are just slightly bigger. They're calling deluxe, and they're asking 38.
No.
It's crazy. They don't need to charge those prices. I mean, shipping prices have come down since 2020.
Yeah.
Manufacturing costs have gone up for sure, but the way the prices have inflated have well outpaced anything else. But anyway, I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole on that, but there's really no need to.
Mhm.
We got the porn bots in the chat, and thank you to the mods, Greg Fenstad, for taking care of that. Thanks, man. But yeah, I mean, you were talking about the comic book industry, and dude, $5 an issue. It's like,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like I remember when
I don't know about you. It seems like the paper and everything is thinner and thinner and thinner. Is it just me?
I don't know. I haven't.
Oh
really,
yeah, I know you don't buy it.
I don't really collect comic books, other than the ones that I get sent free to me from like comp copies, stuff that I've worked on. But I mean, yeah, no, $5, $6, $8, $10 even. I think one of the exclusives that I worked on for Godzilla versus Power Rangers was like a con exclusive and went for like $10. Or, I mean, when I used to buy comics, they were like 75 cents, $1.25. But like you said, just like the toy industry, inflation, and I think it's so much more catered towards just collectors. Really, it's just they know that we're going to spend the money to buy that stuff. Because we have completionists and all the other stuff.
Right, and they'll do like 25 different covers for like one book, and it seems like they're always restarting at number one. Right, it's like
there's always a reboot. Yeah, it's and then I know you wanted to talk about the current state of the comic book industry, but
look, I mean, I complain about the $5 issues, but I also buy $25 comics from from like crowdfunders like Cyberfrog, and
right.
I have no issue doing that, but also I'm getting a lot more for my money. They're 80 some pages, and it comes with all these tchotchkes, stickers, and bonus books, alternate covers within that $25 price. Or you can buy it tiers and get like toys and stuff like that included. So
that's kind of like a totally separate, self-contained thing on its own. Like I believe it's part of the future of the industry in a way. Like I totally commend and applaud artists and writers that are just like they want to do their own thing. They don't want to have to worry on some other company to distribute their books for them, really. And like have like a stranglehold on like the stuff that they create. So I really applaud guys that are like have gone like the GoFundMe way. But people love their superheroes, man. It's like as much as people will say that the comic book industry is crumbling, and actually the last few years during the pandemic, there's been something to oppose that train of thought. It's just like actually I was looking, it was either a Forbes article or Fortune Business Insight article where it was talking about the state of the comic book industry in 2022. And they were talking about how, much like the toy industry, it's grown during the pandemic because when people are at home and they can't go out because of, the COVID virus or whatever, it's like they're reading comic books, they're playing with their toys. Like I don't know if you saw like the stuff with the toy industry stuff, like even Toys R Us had a little bit of an upsurge during the pandemic as far as toy sales and stuff like that. But the comic book industry slightly increased during the pandemic. So I hope, the movie stuff, the movie tie-ins and all that stuff is still as popular. I actually thought that nowadays, with so many MCU things and DCU and movies and all TV shows and streaming stuff coming out, that like people would start getting just tired of it, like I have, because I haven't really kept up with the Marvel stuff, the series and stuff lately. But the contrary, it's like people have been digesting that stuff and wanting more of it, and it's increased in comic book sales. I think digital sales in particular have increased from like, I did a summit back in like 2012 for DC Comics, like where they pulled all the creators, like the artists and colorists and inkers and all that, the writers, and they invited us over to a summit in North Carolina back in 2012, I think it was, when the New 52 launched. I think that was back in
it was like 20. It was the early.
Yeah, like 2012, like that. And at that time, digital sales were like.
Well, no. New 52. That was before Rebirth. It was, it was like New 52 Rebirth. So that New 52 would have been like the early 2000s or mid 2000s.
No. It was like 2010, 2000, somewhere in there. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so Rebirth was
like 2015, maybe 2015.
Okay.
Anyways, at that summit, they were like breaking down like where people buy their comics the most. 2011. There you go. Thank you, Greg. And I think it was like 18% of the total sales of comic books made up like digital sales. And like now I think it jumped up like between like 30 and 40% during the pandemic. It's like people are really buying, like, although comic book stores and physical copies still make up the majority of how people consume their comic books. I mean, the digital stuff is really, because you have younger kids who are like, they're just attached to their smartphones and their computers and their laptops, and that's how they consume everything. It's like TV and fucking comics and everything else. So, I mean, it's a nice sign that the industry is changing with the times and it's growing. But it just kills me, man, that like, physical copies, because that's, if I were to be a collector today, I would be buying physical copies. Like, that stuff is going by the wayside.
Omega 579 says manga is boosting the comic industry.
Oh yeah, yeah. The American comics, I don't know if they're dying, Omega. They're not dying. If anything, the last few years have shown us that there's a little bit of life there. There's a little bit of a pulse there. But manga Asia makes up 60% of worldwide comic book sales, and that's because manga and the anime stuff and all, it's culturally ingrained over there. It's like over here, there was a point where comic books, even into the early 2000s, were like a comic, like the redheaded stepchild of the publishing industry in America. But now it's like chic. Now it's like if you have a graphic novel of fucking Death of Superman on your coffee table, people are like, oh yeah, that's cool, because they grew up with it.
Yeah. Iodine says people are buying older trade paperbacks. Is that what's keeping it afloat?
No, I mean well, graphic novels, trade paperbacks have always, since the early 2000s, when they first started getting into like the Barnes and Nobles and the Borders and those kinds of booksellers, they've always been like the steady flow of financial currency in the industry. But it's a lot of like creator-owned stuff. And not even like independent, like the GoFundMe stuff, like the Kickstarters and the Indiegogos. It's a lot of comic book companies now, like even IDW, who I work with now. I've seen a total redirection in the way that their business practices are. It's like I've seen them focus less on the licensed IP stuff and more on the creator and stuff, which is great, because I think one of the problems that the industry has is that we rely too much on these stalwart, iconic linchpin characters, and we try to find more ways to reinvent those characters as opposed to just creating new characters. Because I think the buying public is way open to buying new characters and new ideas and new stories. New.
I agree with that.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
I think in movies, because movies are such a huge part of the comic industry now. I mean, MCU,
the big comic book companies, yeah.
I think they need to get the brass tacks with the movies. Like, give us classic characters, and then slowly move into like newer stuff. Like, and I'm talking about DC specifically, because I don't think they've gotten Superman right since Christopher Reeves. And I know if Bobby watches this, he's going to be pissed. And I love Henry Cavill.
I like Henry.
I love Henry Cavill. I don't hate the movies he's in, but that's not my Superman.
Right. No, my Superman is Christopher Reeves for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not my Superman because it's Henry Cavill. It's because of the writing. It's because of the stories.
Right. No. I mean, yeah. Richard Donner is also a great director. So yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. There's like a wholesomeness that, for me anyways, that the Henry Cavill Superman lacked, that the Christopher Reeve.
Yeah. He was
even the worst of Christopher Reeve Superman movies, like Part 4, like I always believed that he was Superman / Clark Kent.
He was, even in Superman 4, the worst one, he was still Superman.
Mm-hmm.
You could watch him get up in front of the UN, and he's talking about nuclear weapons, and it's like it's such a horrible movie. But like that scene, it's like that's so Superman. It was just, it's so good.
Yeah.
And I'm not defending Superman 4 or 3; they're not good movies. But to get back to comics.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned like crowdfunding and stuff, and I said, I'm a huge fan of Cyberfrog and Eat the Man Skyver and all that, and kind of the thing that they like to talk about. And I'm not saying they're wrong, because I don't work in comics, I don't know anything, but something that they often talk about is that mainstream comics is dying. It's being propped up by manga. Right. And you kind of went into it a little bit, but do you think that crowdfunding or just independent comics going forward is going to be the king?
No.
I mean, but now hear me out, because DC is owned by Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers is cutting stuff like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't you see them just being like, we're not going to pay to publish this stuff, license it out?
Yeah, no, that could definitely happen for sure. Right. I could see them, but that's a totally different thing than what you're saying about the comic book industry dying. Because regardless of who owns it, regardless of who's distributing it, regardless of who's publishing it, people want to read those characters. They want to see those characters. Those characters are more important than the editors, more important than the writers, more important than the artists, including myself. Those characters are the driving force behind major comic book company publishing. Superman's, Batman's, DC, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man. All people will always want to buy those characters. It doesn't matter. People don't really care if Diamond is distributing Marvel Comics, which no longer are, or Penguin or whoever. They don't care if those books were produced by in-house DC pen people. They only care about getting their books on time, and that they read stories that are interesting involving those characters. So is the comic book industry, the major comic book, the Marvels, DC's, IDW, who I work for, Dynamite, Boom, all those, are they dying? No. I mean, every company has their ups and downs, and I'd be lying to you if I told you that the pandemic didn't affect the industry, because it did. I mean, there has been such a huge turnover in the personnel in all these companies, including the one that I work for. But I mean, people continue to buy those books. That those companies are still there right now. And there have been some companies that have gone bankrupt and gone out of business. But as far as like Spider-Man's and X-Men of the world, so those guys are going to be around for a very, very long. They're going to outlast everybody. So I'm not worried about the representation of those characters and those comics not being available to people. I'm not worried about that at all. Who publishes it, who distributes it, who produces all that stuff? I mean, it could be anybody. And it doesn't matter because, to me, it doesn't matter because I really don't care who does all that stuff, as long as you're always going to need artists to draw that stuff. You're always going to need writers to write that stuff. And as long as you got the chops, I feel like I have a place in the industry. So I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're gonna not have work.
No, it's not. But another thing, Ryan, is that I've never been, from the day that I graduated from art school, I've never been the kind of guy to put all my eggs in one basket. The reason you see that it says Alex Sanchez illustrator and not cartoonist or comic book artist is because when times were lean in the beginning, or when I'm in between projects, I've always been able to find art jobs to fill in the gaps. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I hope that for any comic book artist, it's like, I hope that you don't feel like just because you're a comic book artist, you can't do any other kind of art to make a living, so I'm not worried about it that in that way anyways.
Matthew Matson says Ripaverse is how you do it. I backed the Ripaverse that I saw him #1, which it was a great comic. It was a great story.
Is that the Keanu?
Eric July. He has a YouTube channel, and he raised like almost $4 million for his first comic.
Yeah. Just before we continue this conversation, I think it's what do they call it? It's not airing dirty laundry. It's a little house cleaning, because Ryan has made it aware to me that there's a viewer, and for the sake of simplicity, let's refer to this person as Patricia. Okay, Patricia was a very good friend of mine that attended art school with me and Bobby back at the Kubert School in the early 2000s, and continued to be a good friend of mine, all the way through. He was at my wedding, I was at his wedding. But Ryan because Ryan knows the backstory and he knows what kind of person this guy is.
I know. Hold on. No, I don't know the backstory. I don't.
I don't know. Right. Okay. So maybe you don't know the whole backstory.
I know there's bad blood. I know there's bad blood.
Right.
And I only know of him because of following Ethan and Cyberfrog and the Comicsgate thing.
Right. Which is funny, which is how when he started following
EVS, he changed the name to PTP, which is,
it's just another example of what a society leech, culture vulture, this sorry excuse for, and I use this term very loosely, artist, refers to himself as. This guy is just such a piece of shit. So this guy went to art school with Bobby and I remained his friend all through, the last 2 decades or so. And this guy, with the benefit in hindsight, I just realized that this guy was just like a leech, just like the kind of person that sucks all the energy out of his friends in order to prop himself up and make himself look better than he actually is. Now, this guy, how does this relate to the 3POA podcast is what I'm sure everybody is understanding. So this guy wants to get on the show. He wants to come on your show, Ryan, and say, Ryan, I love your show. I watch you all the time. Bobby, remember when we were in school? Remember we were in art school and no, there was none of that. Because you hated Bobby. You talked shit about him all through the years, up until you found out that he was working at Hasbro and was in charge of the G.I. Joe line. You love G.I. Joe, and that's when you were like, oh, let me talk nice about Bobby, at least to me. So, and the entire time I was like, oh, you don't know Bobby. Don't talk shit about him. You don't know the way he is. He's a good guy, blah, blah, blah.
So this is the art school days. You guys were all in art school together.
Oh, we were in art school together. We were in the same class. Bobby and I were in the same class. He was in another class. But, we were all we were all in the same group. It was a very small school. So this guy talked shit about him for years and years, up until, like I said, he found out that he had some pull in the G.I. Joe line at Hasbro. And then that's when he started reaching out to Bobby and like, hey, can I ask your advice on this? And like, okay, so how does this relate to the 3POA podcast? So like I said, he wants to come on the show and sling his fucking shitty produced, manufactured, conceptualized, designed, and executed toys on you guys, just so he can come on here and act like he's part of the community and say that, yeah, I love toys, I'm a comic book artist. No, none of that shit. Okay.
Yeah, you know, just he reached out to me,
I know he did.
and I was like, well, let me. I knew that you guys knew him, and so I asked you, and you were like, oh, and
Oh,
so
dude,
that
well, thank you, Ryan, because you've actually been like the one person. Like to be honest with you, I've had so many things going. This happened like 2 years ago. He totally burnt the bridge. And I've had so much shit happen to me in between them, like having a kid where I've kind of out of sight, out of mind. And it isn't really until you're like, hey, this guy is trying to get on the show. And like, I'm like, no, I'm not going to let that happen, because I'm not going to let him come on here and act like he's buddy with everyone when all he really wants to do is sling his shit and sell his stuff to you guys. His shitty comics, his shitty toys that are overpriced. And he wants to come on here and act like, thankfully Bobby is in here. Like, he would have come on and let's say, oh yeah, Bobby, we're good. Remember? No, you're like, your whole appearance is a lie and you can never really be you. And most of the time, I don't fucking bother with these hoes. Don't let these hoes bother me. But in this instant, since he went on his show to complain about how I did him wrong, I felt it was necessary for me to come on this show. Thank you, Ryan, for giving me this platform to talk about this and tell you the real truth. The real truth is that none of this shit would have bothered me if it wasn't for the fact that he's going on other YouTube shows like Mandy Summers, like Michael Bancroft, and passing off the work that I did as his own.
what?
So yeah, I'm not saying he's completely plagiarizing me, but that motherfucker's got his toes in the plagiarism pool. And what I mean by that is that I worked on 30 Days of Night, spreading the disease for IDW back in the early mid 2000s. He's going on other shows saying that that's what he worked on when he graduated. I worked on newspaper illustrations for the New York Times. He's going on other shows saying that that's what he worked on. Now, none of you guys might not be none the wiser, but I know. But anybody with a brain and the ability to go on Google search, type his name, and type the works that he's crediting himself with will find the truth. You type my name next to those same titles and you'll see the truth. Okay. So the guy got pissed off because the last few years of our friendship, it was becoming more and more difficult to be his friend because he would constantly try to intertwine me with his political stuff, knowing that I do not participate in any I don't mix business and politics at all. I don't give a shit about whether you think Spider-Woman's pose is too sexy or this, that, I don't give a shit about that. I want to draw what I love, and I want to get paid to do it. Simple as that. I leave my work at home. I don't need a friend of mine coaxing me, trapping me, waving his flag while me standing behind him, trying to, acting like I'm supporting his cause. Nah, motherfucker. Nah. You're not going to do that. You're not going to get me to support your causes just so you can sell more books. So this guy is going on, passing off my work, my credentials as his own, so he can prop himself and make himself look better to the people that he's surrounded himself with. And the thing that I've noticed, that he's the kind of guy that has no talent. I'll say that his work is trash. That's why he never even had a cup of coffee in the comic book industry. Okay. His work is trash. His anatomy, his perspective, his 3D, his layout, his composition, his design, everything that an editor looks for to give you an opportunity to work on that book. He didn't have any of that, and he never matured as an artist. So before you go out blaming me because I didn't give you an opportunity, or blaming an editor or a company or whatever because you felt privileged, like you deserve that spot, it's like, you need to look in the mirror, motherfucker. You need to look at the shit that you're producing and say to yourself, I can do better. And you know what? I don't mean to drag this out any longer, really, because it's already taken up. This is what he wants. He wants me to talk about him on your show. And so I actually had this conversation with him because he asked me, he was doing sample pages. Sample pages is when you do a crop of pages for an editor because they requested it to see if you're capable of working on the book that you might have the opportunity to work on.
Okay, so this guy had 5 sample pages that he had to turn in to an editor, which I actually worked with. So I know the way that the editor thinks. And like, it was just a complete mess. Like, he asked me to review it, and like, I did an overlay where it's like you put a trace paper on it and you make corrections, just like we did in art school. And this guy was so butthurt. It's just like, I realized that this guy just had a pantyhose up his asshole and he couldn't take criticism. Like, this guy was so, it's like little limp-wristed little Nancy got so bent out of shape because I was giving him constructive criticism. That was strike one. That's where I first realized what a little sensitive little limp-wristed little Nancy he was. The second time was when I actually brought him on to work, to color on top of my artwork on a book that ended up getting published. And that was a fucking nightmare. So he just turned out to be a guy that was very privileged, thought that he deserved more, and didn't earn anything in the industry. So, Patricia, go fuck yourself. All right. And one other thing that he said on his show, which this has already happened a few years ago, where he got mad at me because I told a mutual friend who I did a free cover for that I didn't want my artwork represented on a show with a political agenda. And I would have said that to him. I would have said that to Marvel. I would have said that to DC or anybody. I have the right to say when or when not my artwork can be published or displayed. That's my right. And I said that to our mutual friend. Friend went around and told Patricia. Patricia got it. I guess it was that time of the month. Went on his show, bitched about how I never helped him and I never did. I was a douchebag to him and all this and all the other stuff. So he burnt that bridge. And he was saying, you know, when the comic book industry dies, you're going to go down in flames with it. And all. Well, motherfucker, I'm still here. I don't fucking sweat you. And if you would have said that shit to me to my face, dude, I'm not internet tough guy. I've never claimed to be an internet tough guy. But let me tell you something. He would not got halfway through that insulting sentence without getting slapped in the face. Because that shit, dude, I would have. Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
Carved his ass up if you said that shit to me in my face. And I'm praying.
Metaphorically speaking, we don't want to get
metaphorically speaking. Yeah. No. I would make a figure of myself, make a custom figure of him, and just like. But I'm praying that this guy grows enough hair on his nuts to come and visit and exhibit at one of these toy conventions, comic book convention in New York City. Because when you do, anyways.
Hey, it's all good, man. I wanted to, to let you have your say because I know it's been weighing on you for quite a while. And look,
it
man,
really, honestly, Ryan, it really. Oh, I've only really thought about it when you brought it up. To be honest.
Oh, when I said, "Hey, this guy wants to come on the show."
Yeah. So
there it is.
Yeah, I mean that's go fuck yourself is basically. Go sell your shitty comics and your poorly drawn comics and your poorly manufactured toys somewhere else, man. But not on 3 POA. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I can't have none of that here. I mean, look, me and you, we're friends, and I have a strong sense of loyalty. And
dude, let me tell you something. You have shown Dante, and I mean Bobby precedes all this stuff, but you in the last few years that I've known you have shown more loyalty than that guy ever did in the last 15 years that I know him.
Yeah, it sucks.
That's a fact. That's true. Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like one thing before we're done here, it's funny that he went on his show to say that I never helped him out or everything, even though he wasn't able to get New York Comic Cons and C2E2s and all these other cons without my credentials where I had to split a table with him. He sent me a thank you gift for hooking him up with the writer, which ended up hiring him for some other shit for a very long time. He gave me this hoodie as a out of nowhere as a thank you. Let me ask you this. Do you give gifts to people that you don't feel are good to you or have helped you out? Or do you give them to people that, right?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't give a gift to someone I felt that way about.
No, why would you?
Yeah. Wow. It was very insightful. I'm glad you got to. I'm glad you got to get that off your chest, man.
Mm.
And do you feel better?
I mean, I feel better because I'm here with you, and we're able to, talk about
Right
toys.
on.
But this kind of shit, it's like I mean, I had the opportunity to talk about this. I mean, when I first joined the show, right? Because that's
You know,
when
I mean, yeah.
I mean, when we were
back
in
2 years ago.
when we were in Joe Fest, I think that was the first time the only time that I really mentioned it to you. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I've
it
said on
came
this
up. It came up because I was wearing a Cyberfrog shirt.
right.
Yeah.
Which, dude, I love Ethan. Like, I mean, I don't collect his stuff. I don't really follow him, but I respect and appreciate the stuff that he's doing as an independent artist, because to me, the lifeblood of comic books is the artist. I mean,
Yeah.
if you take the artwork away, we're just a regular fiction book, in Barnes and Noble that you can find everywhere. So I love the fact that those guys are able to do their thing. I mean, politics aside, I disagree with some of their stuff, but I'm so proud of the fact that guys like him, Dan Frega, and some other people are able to go out and
Shane Davis,
who I also went to school with. It's like
Yeah.
I actually the year after he graduated and he started working on Robin, he actually called me to do some background stuff when I was still in school. So like, yeah, Shane Davis, bravo. All the other guys that I mentioned, bravo. Just like, guys, keep your third eye open, because there's people around you who are just going to fucking suck the life out of you until they get what they want for themselves. So that's all I'm saying. You guys are smart enough to know that. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we wrap things up here, got a super chat from Jeremy. Great stream, guys. Thank you, Jeremy. And he also says the airing of grievances, it's a Festivus miracle.
It is.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Actually. Here we
The
go.
tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Emotional, damn it.
So thank you, Jeremy, for that. There was a couple of comments also that I wanted to touch on. Greg, well, first he asked me about Toddy Mac. I love Todd McFarlane. I'm not a big fan of the action figures he makes, but Todd, I think he's great. He wants to know, Alex, what do you think about the latest developments of AI into the art scene?
Oh, that shit. No, I mean it's robbery, it's thievery, really.
I think it's freaking ugly and creepy. I hate it. Like the stuff that I've seen is just like weird.
Well, the legal ramification is that they're literally taking artwork from other people, other artists, and basically superimposing it into the app. So it's wrong. It's just absolutely wrong.
Yeah. I see some people in the chat were saying, no, comic industry's dying and this and that. I mean, look, there's different schools of thought on that, and whatever.
I mean, guys,
it will or it won't. Buy what you like, support what you like.
Right.
I've already said it. Huge Cyberfrog fan. I buy everything. I also someone mentioned trade paperbacks. I still go back and buy trade paperbacks from Marvel and DC, stuff that I missed out on or want to reread. So yeah.
I mean, it's just it's not really black or white. It's really a middle in between. It's like the comic book industry, if you want to compare to the 80s and 90s, really, I mean, the golden heyday of comic books, really, since the 40s and 50s, it has been decreasing. But that has a lot to do with physical media. People prefer, like I said, the digital stuff. But again, like I said before, in the last 2 years during the pandemic, there's been a little upsurge. So there's hope. But like I said, again, doesn't matter what the company is that's distributing and publishing it. People will want their superheroes.
Yeah. And then interesting comment from Raw Talk Real Deal. He says that's the same case with the Dragonfly HasLab. I know the designer who leaked the files. We have receipts. Reach out to me. Let's talk. I'll get you on the show. That'd be very interesting to talk about. Thank you, Raw Talk Real Deal. So that's all I got. Alex, man, it's been great talking to you, dude. We haven't talked face to face in like months, like 6 months.
I know it's been all like messaging and stuff, and that's on me. You know, I've kind of disconnected from social media a little bit, really only posting family stuff, tagging family people, you know, in it. But yeah, I haven't really even really posted artwork stuff in any of my social media platforms. But thanks for having me, man. It's always great to catch up with you, and it's amazing to see actually in the intro video how your collection has grown from the intro video to like what it is now.
Well, that was like I was still like putting together this room, and I just had like some stuff like temporarily set up behind me just for the show. So, but yeah, it has. It's come a long way, and part 2 of the collection tour should be up in the next couple of days, and then probably part 3 as well later on this week.
Trilogy.
It's got to be 3. I don't want it to be too long. It would have been like a 2-hour video if I did the whole thing at once, you know.
Oh, what's that? It's like a laser pants motion picture.
Yeah.
Make it in 3D.
Yeah. So at Ironhead77, Ironhead HED 77 on Instagram. You can follow Alex there. Link in the description below. You can check out his artwork. You do phenomenal work. I have some original pieces from you here in the Laser Cave. Alex, I love you, man. I hope the family's
love
well.
you too, man. I love you so much. I love all you guys.
I hope to see you at New York Comic Con 2023. We'll see if I can make it work.
Or Toy Fair.
Or Toy Fair. You got a super.
You know you have a place to stay here. Always.
Thank you. Yeah, right there in Harlem.
There'll be a Slim Jim waiting for you too.
Super chat from Stryden. Thanks, man. He says, I just want to wish everyone a happy new year and thank you, Alex, for stopping by. Thanks, missed you. Everyone misses you, Alex. You got to come back more often. At least, you know.
I will once the baby's grown.
All right, and then if anyone wants to know if PTP will be on this show promoting his work,
Hell no, to the no, yeah, to the no.
That's
I love you.
Now you can't treat my friends that way and come on the show. So all right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. It's been a long show. It's been an interesting show. I'll see you Wednesday on Loose Book Complete. All the social links are in the description below. See y'all later.